What's up guys, Belamy Prime here, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys my 3 super easy ways to make gold in Archeage Unchained. This is not necessarily the best way to make gold in Archeage Unchained. There are a number of other ways that you can make actually just way better gold than what we're talking about today. But the 3 methods I'm going to cover today are basically just super easy, lazy ways to make a good amount of gold in Archeage Unchained, and I think a lot of these things you should be incorporating into what you're doing each day in Archeage Unchained to maybe increase the amount of gold you get. And you know, sometimes if you have a bit of an off day where you can't spend a whole lot of time grinding what you normally grind, whether it's fishing or this or that, coin purses, whatever, maybe you can throw in 1 or 2 of these things that I'm going to show you today, and it'll be a quick, easy way for you to burn a bit of labor and get a nice little bit of gold. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, it takes a little bit of setup, but once you've got the situation set up, it's a very, very good source of easy, lazy gold. Now, I'm over here on my bunch of land over in Sunbite. I have my little house here, and I have a bunch of Baobab trees, or Baobab trees, however you want to call them. I have a bunch of them here, and we're over in Sunbite here, and they are arid trees, so they grow faster in arid climates. Now, you have to buy these with vocation, so if we look in the vocation store on page 4, they're 225 vocation. They mature in a day and 2 hours, and they harvest every 14 hours. If you're in arid climate, it's every 10 hours. So realistically, you can harvest these twice per day to get all the fruit from them. So you can see I have a bunch of farms here, and I pretty much have one of my alternate characters pretty much dedicated to farming these twice a day, if I'm like online to farm them twice a day. I try to at least get them once a day, but twice a day is a good bit of gold. Now, I just went ahead and harvested these about half an hour ago. And you can see I have a whole bunch of Baobab fruit here in my bag. Now, the reason why this is just super easy, lazy gold is because you don't have to do anything with it other than just vendor the fruit. You don't have to sell it on the auction house. You don't have to turn them into packs. You just vendor the fruit. You can see here, after harvesting all my trees, I got 1,921, that number looks like, of Baobab fruit, and it's worth 90 gold and then another 82 gold. So almost like, what, 172 gold just for picking a bunch of fruit off a bunch of trees. You know, it takes about 20 minutes for me to pick it all on my old character, and I get almost 200 gold every time I pick them. And I even got another farm here that I could put some more Baobab trees on if I want to. And yeah, so once it's pretty much set up, all the trees are set up. Yes, every now and again the trees die, and you have to replace them, but basically, as long as you're doing your family quests each day for the little bit of vocation that they give, you can pretty much sustain it, no problem whatsoever, and it's, like I said, it's a super easy, lazy source of gold, because even on a day where I can hardly play, I can log in onto my alt character, quickly pick all these trees, vendor them, log out, and I'm done. And then maybe if I can get on later that night, 10 hours later, once they're all matured again, I can log on, spend another 20 minutes, pick some Baobab fruit, and, you know, I have myself a nice steady income of gold without a whole lot of effort. So, alright, so the next easy way to make a nice little chunk of gold each day is to be doing your cargo daily. Now, this is a family quest that becomes available to you when you open up your family daily missions. So come into the community tab, family, all in the family, make sure you got this cargo delivery one checked, and you will have this quest available to you. This is available to west and east. You can do either. You can do the one from the east or from the west as either faction. It doesn't matter. So you're either starting this in 2 crowns or here in Solus. So the other option is over here. This is generally the one west will do, is in 2 crowns about here. So you want to pick up this quest. It essentially wants you to buy a cargo pack and then deliver it, and it will give you 60 onyx archeum. Now, generally, when you buy a cargo pack, I'll buy it for 26 gold. It's pretty much always 26 gold unless the supply and demand changes, which it almost never does. So 26 gold to buy the cargo pack, and then to take it over on the NPC boat here, which leaves in 4 minutes, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to buy a captain's protection for 5 gold. You could also buy a captain's protection for 1,000 vocation if you happen to have a bunch of spare vocation. You can see it here on the last page. But as we saw earlier, I'm using my vocation for Baobab Trees. So I'm going to go ahead, jump onto this boat, and activate my captain's protection, and then I can just sit AFK on this boat for about 15-20 minutes until it arrives over in 2 crowns. So generally you want to be holding onto something so that people can't grief you and push you off the boat. So if you can't get access to a seat, simply do what I just did there. Climb onto the bottom of the ladder, climb up and stand in the, and just kind of hover in the plethora of people on here, and you can't fall off and people can't knock you off. So you're safe here. You stay on the boat like this until you travel to the other side. Now, once you get to the other side, generally when you're running a pack, you want to turn it in, and it will cost labor to turn in. We don't want to do that, because if we're turning it in for the actual price that it's worth, you'll probably get like 12, 13 Onyx Archeum Essence, depending on your server. Whereas if we turn it in for the quest, not only is it going to cost us 0 labor for the turn-in, as opposed to almost 200, it's going to guarantee to give us 200 Onyx Archeum Essence. Alright, so we got our pack, we AFK'd our way over to 2 crowns. We're here now, all we have to do is just run straight up here, turn in our pack for the quest, not the actual turn-in, and we get our free gold. So we spent 31 gold to buy the pack and the Captain's Protection together. We turn this in for the quest. The quest reward is the 20 Onyx Archeum. We get our Onyx Archeum, it's in my bag right here, and then you can either keep it, use it, or just go ahead and sell it. Sells for 54 gold right now, so I can go ahead and list that, and I make myself a nice about 20 gold profit for almost no effort, and get myself a little bit of vocation badges. So pretty easy, lazy way to make a bit of gold. Very nice. Alrighty, so the third and final easy/lazy way to make gold in Archeage Unchained firstly requires you to have some sort of farm cart, wagon, freighter, hauler, whatever it is you have. Most people should have these. It's quite easy to get regardless. Anyway, so you want a pack transport of some kind to make this worthwhile. And yes, it's going to be running packs, but it's not going to be the regular, grow your materials and run your packs from whatever zone you have land in. This is just kind of like a lazy way that I like to run packs. And at any point of the day, if I find that I have a bit of labor, or one of my alt characters has a bit of labor, and I got nothing to do at the time because I've done my dailies, or I don't feel like doing something, and I just want to be lazy, run some packs, maybe make a little bit of easy gold, is I'll just open up my map and just have a look at what's going into peace, potentially, from war zones. It doesn't even have to be from war zones. You can run packs from really anywhere. But right now, Windscour is in war for another 15 minutes, at the end of which it's going to go into peace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press O to open up my folio and type in Windscour. Now, this is going to bring up all the different packs that I can make in Windscour. Generally, the safest one to go for is the Preserved Gilder specialty for that zone. They're generally the most worthwhile and easy to do this process, which I'm about to show you guys with. And especially if you're making the packs from an alt, the Gilder probably isn't an issue because you're not worried about saving up Gilder from your alt. I like to do this from my alt, not my main, so there's that. But we can see the Windscour Preserved Gilder specialty is going to require 300 trimmed meat per pack and 3 moringa fruits. Now, if I open up the auction house here and then just type in trimmed meat, we can see, let's see, trimmed meat is 2 silver, 8 copper each. So if I just do this and type in 300 trimmed meat, we can see it's going to cost us 6 gold, 24 silver for the pack, essentially. So it's a little bit of Gilder, 300 trimmed meat, and then some moringa berries. So how do I spell moringa? Like this. Okay, so moringa berries are cheap as well. So just 3 moringa berries is going to cost us 1 gold. So essentially it's going to cost us about 7.5 gold to make a pack if I just straight up buy the mats from the auction house. So I'm not spending any labor to get the mats whatsoever, and I'm not using any of my land to farm the mats either, because as we saw earlier, all of my farmland is just covered in Baobab trees. So I don't have this time or the space or, frankly, the patience to go out and actually farm myself, which is why this, for me, is a quick, easy way and lazy way to make gold. So if I went ahead and just bought all the mats, it would cost me about 7.5 gold, and then I can go down here to my vocation button, go to trade info, or I can press Shift O to pull this up. And then I can just go here. The pack, we're going to craft it in Windscour. Oops, I misclicked that. Craft it in Windscour, and say we're going to take it to Solus. Okay, so we can see here that our Preserved Gilder Specialty, actually, is this one? Preserved, yeah. Preserved Gilder Specialty. It's at 74% demand on my server right now, so that's pretty low. So I'm over here in Solus, and we can see just how much that effect is going to take. So it's actually right here on the second page. So at 74%, it's only worth about 22 gold when the turnaround 2% comes back right when after you turn it in. So that's not great, but we're making about a 13 gold profit just by lazily buying mats, making the packs, and running them. So, 17 gold per pack profit, that's not bad, considering you're just buying them. Now, let's see how much if I take it to Villanelle. It's about the same. Presumably, 78% demand at Villanelle is going to be almost similar to the Windscar one, so... you can see it's 84% at Unistia, though, so I'm going to go ahead and make a port over to the Unistia trade outlet. And we'll see we'll see if it's worth taking over there, to see if it's worth a little bit more gold to take a little bit further to Unistia for a bit more profit. And if it's worth it, we might take it there. Otherwise, we'll probably just take it to Solus, and, our 12, 13 gold is a nice little lazy bit of profit, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a little bit of labor to burn, it's quite nice. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for Windscour. So, Windscour Preserve. Okay, so it's 26 gold here. So, if I wanted to, I could run it through Windscour, through Arkham, or, through Arkham up to Mahadevi and then all the way up to Unistia, or I could just go straight through Rookborn. That's, if it's level 5 right now, I could just go kill some mobs, push that into war, and get that into peace as well, and then just go straight through Rookborn, Silent Forest into Unistia. But because, like the theme of this video, I'm lazy, and I'll probably just run some packs through Windscour, straight into Arkham, straight up into Mahadevi and into Solus for a nice quick, 20-25 minute run without using fuel, and, make a nice 70-ish, 80 gold just for a single pack run. So, nice and lazy, and since it doesn't take a whole lot of time, I could easily do 2 of those runs during the peacetime in Windscour Savannah. And you can do this pretty much anywhere. So, running the Windscour packs, I would have made, like 70, 80 gold, just a little bit of profit, not bad. I could do this pretty much anywhere, so I could do Paranor pack. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, let's type in Paranor, let's see what we get from there. So, Paranor, let's see what the Gila specialty from there is. So, it's avocados, which I already happen to have, and some ground spices. So, let's see, what are ground spices worth right now? So, if I just type in spice, I should get that up. So, I need 300 of these. It's going to cost me almost 14 gold. So almost 14 gold for the Paranor one, and let's see if we can find it here. So that's 27.5 gold here from to Unistia. Let's see if the Solus one is actually worth though. So we're going to port to the Solus, the Ostera trade outlet, and we're going to see if the price difference to Solus is worth it. Most likely, based on the spice price, it's probably not going to be worth it, but we'll see. It really depends on the demand at the time on your server and what time of the day it is. I generally do these like my prime time, which is when most Americans are asleep, so the demand is usually a bit better, just over the board for everything, which makes it a lot worth it for me. I saw it there, Preserved Gila Specialty. So it's almost, it's 27 and a bit gold to Solus. So it's actually better to Solus than it was to Unistia. So 27 gold, it costs about 14 to make it. So it's almost the exact same profit margin. It's about 12, 13 gold per pack. So you could do a bit of both if you really wanted to, if you're worried about the demand going down on the Windscour one or whatever it is. Depends on the time of day, what it is you're doing, when you're doing it, what zones are going to war, or what zones you want to run it from. You don't necessarily even have to do it from war zones. You could do this from Silent Forest, Felcorth, Sunbite, Arkham. You really just have to go through it at the time and just be like, okay, how much does it cost for me to make this pack? How much is it going to get me? How long is the run? How bored am I? And you can go through and do some pretty easy, lazy pack runs for a nice, solid little bit of gold. And if you're making and turning in the packs on an alt, it shouldn't be too hindering on labor. Because for me personally, as someone who doesn't do a whole lot of farming, other than, some easy baobab picking, it's a nice, easy way for me to spend labor on my alt. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two. Let me know down in the comments if you actually noticed quite a few people doing the baobab fruit trees and you weren't exactly sure why that was a thing that people were doing. And maybe this shed a little bit of light on as to why people were doing that. Like I said, it's a nice, easy, lazy way to make gold without putting in a whole lot of effort when it comes to your farming. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Cheers.